Hi there, and welcome to Cactus AI. We are thrilled to announce for you today Cactus AI for Schools Edition. We know AI in education can be, scary to some people. And here at Cactus AI, we're really trying to build that bridge between education and artificial intelligence. We know it's here and it's not going away. So we built this platform with our state-of-the-art large language model, Iguana, which is trained on over 260 million exclusive licensed research papers in order to deliver to you an AI solution that meets the rigorous standards of academia. In this video, we're going to demonstrate to you how all three of our specific portals work: our administrative portal, our professor portal, and our student portal. Thank you, and we hope you enjoy.
The first page we're going to introduce to you is the school admin page. This is meant for administrator level employees of your school to be able to get in, do what they need to do quickly, and get back out. We know they wear many hats. First, we see their main teachers page. From here, they can audit the teachers that currently have access to the school at a professor level. And they can also add new teachers as they would like. It will send an email, give them access by doing so. From there, if, let's say, a teacher leaves in the middle of the year or something like that, you need to remove access suddenly, you can always remove access here. This is an operation that we want to make sure isn't accidentally done, so you do have to type in an actual prompt to say, I do, yes, remove this person, and then remove them. I'm not going to remove this one today, but this is how you do so if you want to on your end. When you have many teachers, you can, of course, search those if you want from there. So in terms of courses, this is going to be the full course list of all of your professors. Professors can create courses at their own discretion, unless you choose to go a different route and you want those to be created at the admin level and unedited by teachers. That would be something you'd reach out to us about. At our base case, professors can create those classes and they'll appear here. Admin can also add courses here as they would like, but generally we suggest having your professors add those classes. If we click into these, we actually get the same level of access as our professors do to the class. This is in case for example, the professor's out sick for a couple of weeks, an administrator needs to step into that class and continue forward with use, the administrator can do so. From here inside of the class, we have some general information if anybody wants to input kind of hard data for their class. They can, of course, upload their syllabus directly. They can see a full student list of the ones that are associated to the class. They can see a usage report, including the student's name, a timestamp, what they're asking, and what their response was. This is not only to hopefully prevent some cheating, but also specific so that teachers can modify their curriculum based on the needs of their students. Sometimes students, as we all know, will not ask some questions of the professors. This is a way for them to see those questions that the students maybe weren't quite brave enough to raise their hand and ask. From there, and probably the most important tool on it, we do also have the assistant. This is an AI assistant specifically trained to answer the questions that pertain to this class. So, for example, if I were to ask it, when is the first paper due? It's going to look at the information that was provided inside of the syllabus and provide a response specifically from it, right? So the first paper is due on September 17th. Make sure to plan. Good luck with your paper. If you need any assistance, feel free to ask me. A very human response, very helpful. This assistant is meant to help not only the students, but in some ways the teacher, right? Think of it as a 24/7 AI teaching assistant so that the professor gets more time to do the important work that only they're qualified to do. From there, if we back out of the courses, and we can see there's several here, I can also get into my student list, right? I just have a couple of here, just as an example. And in the same process, I can add students by clicking New Student, just like I did with the professor. It sends them an email, grants them access, lets them head right into their dashboard, and gets them right started up. So I've had two. It shows me what class. This is their initial teacher. This is like their teacher that first added them to a class. This is just so that you can reach out to a teacher if you're going, wait, but how did this student who is this, right? If you ever have to do any kind of audits there. But it also provides the student's email that was inputted into the database, so that if you need to reach out to that student directly, you can very quickly access that email. From there, admin level users can audit usage of all students within the platform. And so this provides them access to every single request that's made. This is obviously protected with admin level access. This is private information. So this is only at the administrator level that you can see this for all students in the school. Next up, we'll introduce the professor portal. So this is our professor portal. It's the teaching dashboard. In here, professors can very quickly come in and create new courses as they need, and of any type. Let's say, for example, that I am heading into my Math 103 class. Right, I want to go ahead and create a new class for Math 103. So it pops them right into it. From here, they can set specific information manually as they would like. However, they can also upload their syllabus directly. So if I upload my syllabus, it will then go through, process that syllabus, and in doing so, we'll provide a lot of information to Cactus about office hours or homework or projects, exams that are coming up. It will be as detailed as the syllabus is. And so from there, once I've uploaded that syllabus and I've put in these details, maybe I had to edit something or add something, maybe, oh no, I forgot, I didn't have office hours on that syllabus. I could either re-upload it or I can just enter those in manually if I'd like. I can come over here to my assistant. So it already recognizes, right? So the syllabus I uploaded was for AP English, so it switched all that for me because I put in the wrong class the first part, right? It's looking out for me, good old Cactus here. I can ask it all kinds of questions, just like I showed on the admin dashboard about homework or things like that. This is a great place for the professor to do a little bit of testing just to make sure that it's giving the information that they want it to give, or maybe they need to provide more information if they want it to be able to give specific details on what the next homework assignment requires. Well, then that has to exist somewhere. From there, if the professor does need to edit and add their students, they can do so. We don't make them enter in one by one. Professors' time they're precious. Instead, we give them a course code for this particular class. They can provide it to their students, and their students will actually join the class. They can provide this one time, one class, and all 30 students are in and ready to go for that class. From there, we do allow professors to monitor usage, but this is only for students that are in their class. So if you remember, when we're on the admin dashboard, we had several cases of usage, but here you'll see none because this professor does not have that student. We're trying to make sure that we follow all FERPA guidelines with any student information. From there, right, I can see I have my different classes, right? These both have at least a student in it. These, they don't even have a student. They created them, but they don't have any, right? So we can very quickly monitor who joined, who hasn't, right? Who's supposed to be in my class. And I can see all that information very rapidly. From there, and let's say I have a lot of courses, I can search for them and all that. We do provide professors access to the student dashboard as well for when they need to model usage in front of the class as well. So if I were to, for example, click the dashboard here, it's going to bring me right into the main portal that the students often will be engaging with. And so if I need to, for example, show them, hey guys, everyone's going to generate a paragraph together, and we're going to go through all our different ones and do some comparisons and some analysis on this mutual topic, they can model that at the front of the class with what the students are looking at as well. Last, but certainly not least, we have our student dashboard. On the student dashboard, when they first land, the student is given opportunities first to make Cactus their own. They can do some customization, make sure that their responses are personalized to their preferred writing style. They can add their own classes, fill out their profile, really make it theirs. You'll also note that depending on what they've chosen, they'll also receive several tools that are suggested for them. If they're a big writer or a coder, that's really their focus. They can absolutely select those and have those displayed here. This is a small selection of our tools. We'll take a look at each of our individualized AI tools for many use cases in just a moment. So on the left here, I can see my main navigation bar. And at the top here, I have my chat, and we'll look at that in a moment. But in my classes here, if I look at this student, I can first see, look, this student is enrolled in Cactus Academy, in Music 101 already. We even got a little bit of a tag for Cactus on there. All this will be customized to your school, have your information, your images, to really make the student feel like this is part of their education for your school. If I click into these, I gain access to those teaching assistants that we talked about in the previous segments so that the students can engage with them and ask specific, targeted questions about a course directly. Now, let's say that I just had this student in class and I wanted them to join my class. So a very simple process here, right? I take that code that we looked at before, I post it in here, and I join the class. When I do so, it's going to pop me right in. Boom, I'm ready to start asking questions, right? Maybe my first question, one of the things that's big in this AP English Literature and Composition class is they have a major poetry project. So I can ask it, what are some good ideas for my poetry project? And Cactus is going to engage with that syllabus and its 260 million academic papers and come up with some great ideas based on both to suggest to the student to look into. It's not doing this for them. It's just providing some information that a professor would do as well on, hey, have you thought about? Do you want to try? What do you think? Right? So have you considered maybe doing a comparative analysis or a biographical study? And it gives a little bit of information about what those would be. First and foremost, this teaching assistant is looking to assist in teaching. And that is the core goal. So if I back out of here, I can see that in my classes, I now have both of those classes. I can come back and re-engage with them as I want. Now, sometimes, for example, you may have a colleague who is unwilling to adapt to a new system that's just been launched. As a former teacher myself, I'm very familiar with that particular phenomenon. But some of these students are going to go, Cactus has been a lifesaver. I love it. It's huge for me. Well, they can create their own classes as well. Now, these will not be official classes like these are. They're professor created, professor maintained, and so they are 100% school branded and controlled and all that fun stuff. But let's say my mathematics 203 teacher just refuses to use Cactus. Well, but I want to use the tools. I can absolutely create that class myself, enter in some of that information, right? Enter in some of those details, upload the syllabus if I want, and have access to very similar tools. Now, you'll note that it's not in your classes. It's not branded for the school or anything like that. This is their class that they are using it to help drive their own inquiries. But it is an option that's available to them. From there, we can see we have a document editor. We'll take a look at that in a moment. And then we start getting into some very frequently used tools. So like my essay writers, my math and science, right? Formulaic solvers, problem solvers, flashcard systems for studying. And that's really just the tip of the iceberg. If I come into all tools here, you can very quickly see that there are many tools here. Each one trained specifically to be excellent at the job at hand. Everything from writing code to learning a language to blog posts to style formatting, you name it, right? Hey, we got to work on that cover letter, buddy. Cactus can help. Now, let's say today I'm looking to do something rather simple. I'm just looking to create a paragraph, right? Maybe my teacher has this question for me. It's on my homework. I'm really struggling with it. I just don't even know where to start. I've read through the piece, but it's a tough one. Well, this is where, if I need something that's just like a paragraph, I don't need a whole paper, I don't need anything like that, right? I can just ask it, what is the point of the age difference in Romeo and Juliet? And I can generate that. Now it's going to load, right? It's pulling all that information, right? It's making sure that it's all appropriate for this student. And then, boom, we have our full response. From there, you'll see right into it, right? Here's their age, here's what's going on, here's some of the background information that you need to know to understand this, right? These societal conflicts that they're facing. Cactus does more than just tell you an answer. It teaches you the things you need to understand that answer. Now, for some students, and I saw this phenomenon often as a teacher, even just last year, some students have difficulty with the reading. I would have 11th and 12th grade students that were reading on a first, second, or third grade level. And unfortunately, it's become quite common. One of the things that I've often used as a support for them is hearing something auditorily as they read. And Cactus has that built in as an option for them. So if I got this output, I'm trying to read it, but I'm having trouble understanding.
The age difference serves several significant purposes.
None of this is pre-recorded, fresh, new, appropriate to their question on any subject. I can run through that. Read through it, and it's making some sense. But now I'm wanting to save it into my notes, right, in my documents. So very simple. I click Save to Documents here. I can finish out whatever I'm doing here. And if I pop out and go to my documents, you'll see I have that response that I just worked through. And I can edit, I can change, I can add some personal notes to it. And perhaps most importantly, I can re-engage with a Cactus again. Explain this to me in simpler terms. And if I do so, Cactus is going to look specifically at the things I've written, and it's going to explain it in a different way. For this one, more simply, responsiveness, so on and so forth. And I can do this a bunch of times. If I'm really struggling, I can say, well, explain it in a different way. And each time it will give me another explanation until I get it. The magic of this as well, though, is let's say this is not AI generated, but rather this is my personal paper. I just wrote it, right? But as we know, sometimes students are finishing those very late at night. A little too late for the writing labs or such, or to get advice from a teacher. Well, Cactus can absolutely help with that, even into the late night. What are some ways I can improve my response? Or we'll call it a paragraph, because this is a paragraph, right? And it's going to look specifically at this. It's going to run through, analyze, and give specific targeted information on ways to improve this, right? I need to clarify, right? Varied sentence structures, right? These are all real critiques of this specific writing. Each one unique, each time. I can even have it further go into, I need to improve my transitions. Maybe I don't really know what that means. How would I do that? What is an example of improving the transitions in this paragraph? And yet again, I can go as deep as I would like. This is a tool for students. It's to help them learn, not to help them cheat. And so as they keep engaging, as they go through, they can see the original, they can see the revised. It's going to tell them why they did it that way, right? What worked? Oh, well, the transition of, in other words, to re-explain an idea is a stronger transition than just restating it alone. All these things are good for students to learn. From there, we do have those tools that are subject specific. But one of the things that's particularly scary for many teachers, but I think actually can be quite the boon instead, is the fear that I can never assign an essay again because how would I ever know that it's AI? Well, the unfortunate reality of our times is that some essays will be generated by AI. If not from Cactus, then it will be from one of our competitors. But if we can own that process and bring it into our pedagogy, then it becomes a tool for us as educators just as much as it is a tool for the students. So, for example, let's say let's continue on that same theme. We're writing about Romeo and Juliet. And I'm in class. Let's say I wanted to do some comparative analysis. Not long ago, if I wanted to do that, I would have to have provided 3 different essays, maybe of my own creation, right, for my students to each go through. Maybe I break them into small groups, right? But that's a lot of work, and before long, those 3 have been used up. I need to make more. It's a lot of hard work there. With this, I can say, all right, everyone, open up the essay writer, and I want everyone to generate a new essay on Romeo and Juliet. And you're going to instantly have 30 examples in the room. Each one of those you can do different comparative analyses with, right? Each one of those you can talk about core ideas from, right? You can really get into the nitty-gritty of what makes an essay excellent, one to the next, right? That really wouldn't have been a possibility before. And this is just one of many use cases. We had to make it work for us. But we can quickly see here, right, quite the essay that has been written. You'll see that we have several sources here at the bottom as well. And we can actually go take a look at any one of those. Those are real sources that they can pull up and they can read further on and use all that in the classroom. And this is part of the strength of AI, right? Something that was not possible before. So at this point, you've been introduced to the admin portal, the professor portal, and the student dashboard. All 3 of these work in tandem to help you educate your students. We hope you enjoy these tools, and as they continue to progress, we're continually improving them. We hope that some of your wishes and your wants all show up in our tools as well. You can always submit any requests to our teams, and many of those features will come in a later version of Cactus. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.